class is focused on the most important space in the home. That space is kitchen. It's a highest activity footfall area where each and every family member at least visit. And with this class is focused on the most important space in the home. That space is kitchen. It's a highest activity footfall area where each and every family member at least visits. 6 principles which of the space planning, they are a sequential principle. When you say the sequential process, it means that you need to, if there are 6 principles, if it does something P1, P2, P3, P4, that goes in a sequence. Like you need to first think about the P1, that implication of the P1 goes to P2, P2 implication goes to P3, and then sequentially you need to reach to the P6. At the end of this today, throughout this webinar, I'll cover each of the 6P in detail, including which says they are the, like, purpose, place, placement, people, practice, and personalization, because all starts from this CP. That's why these are known as 6P principle. Let's engage in a thoughtful discussion and encourage learning and unlock creative thinking together. We will uncover any possibilities, challenge traditional approach of designing. We want to today we're learning something completely different. We are not learning any measurement technique, or we are not learning any HDF MDF comparison, and we are not learning any soft close and non-soft close and all these things. Today's session is going to be completely different. The first thing which came into the mind, that is the place. Place means the area which you want to design. If you don't know the purpose of your planning, which is a first key element of this whole discussion, or the 6P principle, that you should know the purpose of your this particular project. If today any customer is approached to you, and if they said that, okay, design a kitchen for me, and this is my area, this is my map, and if they just give you some of the reference image from any of the, like, book, magazine, online, anything, and if you in a very hurry, if you start designing and immediately try to give some solution or pricing, sometime this is not a right technique, or most of the time it will fail you. You might not be able to convert it. The reason is that there are few very important questions one should ask. One should ask that, what is the purpose of this particular space planning? Why I should design this space? For whom? What is the purpose? And when I say the purpose, I can give you small examples, like a kitchen which a customer is designing for their own use is completely different than a kitchen you will design if you buy your second home and if you're planning to rent it out. Just giving you an example, like it's just might be a very plain, simple example, but it will be very good for the understanding. So as I assume that a person make a kitchen to give for their rental home, they might be giving a very simplistic and like a solution where the purpose can be utilized. But once a kitchen they made for their home, they take care of everything. They know their own storage, they know their habits, they know how many family members in the home, how social they are, how interactive kitchen they need. They need the gadgets, and you must have your checklist that, okay, flooring check, okay, the window check, okay, the POP check, okay, the core cutting is possible for the chimney or not, check, okay, the water inlet check, water outlet check, okay, where the sink location check. See, all these things you need to know of the place. So that will the understanding of the place only will help you, that if you can say your customer that the size of the kitchen can be L shape, or the size can be island, or whatever. There are many other factors which you can discuss. Designing a kitchen has 3 very important principles and 3 very, very important elements, which is like the placement of 3 important core activity zones. One zone is known as, like, the hot zone, the other zone is known as a cold zone, and third zone is known as a wet zone. Now this is a very basic principle. I think as a designer you all must aware about it, but yeah, as a sequence, it's come to, after the overall place, it's come to understand the right placement. Is a water inlet and water outlet available? So this is the place where I need to design the sink. Then what you need to design next is, very importantly, immediate thing must be came in your mind that, okay, then you just go and decide the place of cooking. Yeah, but before that, in our more modern kitchen, we need to define the place for the refrigerator. And it is highly advisable to do not touch or do not disturb the wet area, which is predefined by the builder, because they have the sequential connection of the water let and all this. And there's a lot of core cutting might be, or the plaster cutting may be required to change the positioning of your vat and your sink and all these things, water inlet outlet. If you understand all this previous 3P, which is a purpose, place, and placement, let me tell you, this is going to be most challenging but most satisfying, understanding for you, to know about your customer, to know about their family, to know about their people who are going to use the kitchen, to know about overall their personality. Uh, just for it, for your information, there is a whole session design on this, which is known as a persona development. Like, you can actually define a persona of your customer first, and then if you have the persona, you will be very easy to understand. It will be very easy to understand for you that what is the right offering for the customer. I here the involvement of your right brain started. As you know that our left brain think more of technicality, the line diagram, the angles, all these things, this goes into your left brain. But the right brain has a different kind of a working. We think from about the emotions, empathy, all these things are planned from our right brain. And from here, first 3 points are very very left brainy points, but from here you need to apply your right brain. You need to put yourself in the shoes of your customer. You need to see what kind of family they are coming from. You need to see what is their social culture activity. You need to see what kind of practices they are. So don't shy when somebody ask you, or you ask them that to ask them about their family details, that how many people you have in the kitchen, what kind of age group they are they uh, all youngsters, or there's some elderly people in your home, like, who need some special attention. These kind of things you need to know. And that is what I can say, that you should know about your about the people for whom you are planning this piece. A single user has a completely different way of working in a kitchen in compared to a multiple user or a family user. If you have a family, and also that family is also with a growing kid, you have to be very very careful in your kitchen design. Now, very unique uh, P, a unique proposition or a unique principle, is practices. Even if you connect with the people by with your right brain, if you know about their family, if you know about the user, it is highly appreciated or highly expected to ask about their practices. What practices? Cooking practices. What practices? Buying practices. What practices? If you are making more of a biryanis, then you must have a bigger pot, and that bigger pot need a space for storing somewhere. So one instance, this might look, what are you asking? But then if you give your logic, the customer might always appreciate your question, and they will be very happy to connect with you, because it's a very 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 simple. Like, if you are doing a very heavy oily cooking, which is not a big deal for most of the Marwadis families, or most of the North Indian families, they have very very heavy oily cooking. Puris, kulchas, or parathas, all these things, and very heavy gravies, they have a lot of oils. And then you need to design the kitchen accordingly. Now, if you think what's a connection, it's a big connection. For example, if you know that the family is going to do a lot of oily cookings, they are going to be very heavy cookings the whole day, you should suggest them a very powerful exhaust fan chimney. Sometime your recipe doesn't turn out very good if the temperature of the oil is not very reached to a certain level, and that always happen when you do a deep frying. because you need to wait till your oil temperature reach to a certain degree, and then only you can put something to do a deep fry. Otherwise, if the temperature is less and you put inside, the whole recipe can be completely destroyed. These requirements you only know when you interact with the customer, and then you know that okay, what is the current requirement. Okay, uh, we are reaching to the almost end part of this 6P principles, where most important thing, and I think you guys do most of the important discussions around this only, which is known as a personalization. But if you see the position of this hexagon, it kept at the last. And I see, I know many people. I'm working with more than 3,000 interior designer. I know that most of them start their discussion with this topic, which need to be discussed at the end, and that's a personalization. Personalization might be anything. Personalization might be first following all these 5 rules, and then you have a very good image in your mind about the kitchen. You already know each and every module, that what module you're going to use. Now there are questions which you should ask, that okay, what the color you want, what is the reference you want, what is the theme you need. Are you going to make a minimalistic light color pastel theme of kitchen? Are you want Do you want a kitchen with some bright color? Do you want a kitchen which look very show off kitchen? It's not difficult to change the red color shutters to white color shutters by without you know without changing any of the previous P. It's very easy. It's very easy to reduce a certain unit height or location of a oven to a certain without affecting any of the previous P. It is very easy to change the material from particle board to MDF to HDF to ply without changing any of the previous P. By uh, understanding the personal need, you can actually go deep into the customer connect. You can actually ask them that, do you have somebody in the family who needs some special attention, or do you have a specific age user who needs some special attention? This, apart from this 6P principle, some very important things you should know is the knowing the overall persona or mind reading of the customer, which we will keep in some other session. Here I am showing you the entire six principle of the space planning, which perfectly applied to the most active space in the home. All the content which I am delivering here with my all 20-year experience, I already published them in a form of books, which are books available on Amazon. And so, guys, here's I take the pause, and I thank you all of you to join this session.